What is up, Madden 25 gamers? Welcome to this week's Depth Chart podcast. This week we're going to be analyzing the New Orleans Saints, what they bring to the table, and they are our team of the week. We're going to be using them in the scheme of the week, and we're going to be setting them up today for that specific scheme. So we're going to be utilizing the 46 speed package, and we're also going to be utilizing the 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 running back personnel. So first things first, we like to auto reorder our depth chart. Just kind of gets it back to best player in every scenario. Second things is I see that Luke McCown is a pretty fast backup quarterback to Drew Brees. And let's take a look at their throwing stats here and see what the comparisons are. So we see here that Drew Brees has 89 throwing power, 98 short throw accuracy, 91 throw medium, and 85 deep. He's going to be pretty good. He's going to be a great quarterback for us, and he's going to be the starter, of course. Luke McCown, I see, doesn't have quite the accuracy that Ryan Griffin has, but Luke McCown does have better throw power and better athleticism, so I'm going to leave him at the backup position. When we go to the running back, I like to first categorize them by speed. So here we go, we're going to categorize them by their speed, and now we're going to look really quick at their catching. Because again, this is a passing-heavy offense. Only a couple of running formations are kind of scattered, and so you see all these backs catch really well, including the fullback, which is interesting. Pierre Thomas has good catch of traffic, a little bit better than Mark Ingram. He's going to be more of a bruiser, I'm sure. And so now we're going to look at the carry rating here. You see that Pierre Thomas has 96 carrying. That's really, really good. And you see Ingram only has 86. And then we're going to scroll back a couple of sectors here, and you see that we have Darren Sproles has that 95 ball carry vision, 89 elusiveness. Really, nobody else here has elusiveness, as you can see, but they are all more power-style backs. Thomas and Ingram are both really pretty good as far as power backs go. Take a look at the trucking. You see 85, 83, 85. And then real quick, we'll take a look at the strength, agility, and acceleration categories. So here you see Ingram has pretty decent strength, pretty decent acceleration, actually a little bit more of an athlete than Pierre Thomas. But here you also see Pierre Thomas brings that a little bit more strength, not quite the acceleration and agility, but still very decent. And Cadet's probably the best athlete out of the 3. So, but I'm going to probably leave Thomas as the backup. I'm going to move Traverse Cadet up 1, and then I'm going to have Ingram at the 4th slot. And so my in-game runner is going to definitely be Pierre Thomas. Alright, at fullback, again, we like to put in the guys with the highest impact block for our special teams unit. Here we see Jed Collins has 90 impact block. That's amazing. We also, as we scroll down here, we see that Jimmy Graham has really good impact block, and Michael Higgins does as well. So we're just going to leave these stock guys right here. And then for our special teams unit, we could sub in Josh Hill to kind of block for Darren Sproles on the kickoff. Wide receivers, there's going to be 3 wide receivers in this system. Our base formation, the gun normal wing New York places the second receiver as the slot receiver instead of just that far left. So we just need to be noteworthy of that. And so here we see all the Saints receivers have, these top 3 guys have really good catch in traffic, really good catching, pretty good spectacular catch. Let's see if there's any Madden gems on the roster. Here you see Nick Toon, 6'4", 81 spectacular catch, 76 catch in traffic. Looking pretty good there. Tanner, not quite as good as Nick Toon. He doesn't have that tremendous spectacular catching. So I'm going to go ahead and put Nick Toon and see if I can find somewhere to put him. Looks like he's a little bit better than Chris Gibbons. Let's take a look at the speed of Gibbons. 85. Yeah, definitely going to put Toon there at the 5 slot. I've got Meacham and Morgan. Who to put? Here's the backup of the 3, and I'm probably going to go with Morgan. You see a little bit more explosiveness than Meacham. And then real quick, let's take a look and see if there's anybody here that has a tremendous hit power rating. I see Mark Ingram has 30. Justin Drescher here has 67 hit power and 62 tackling, so I'm going to move him to the 5th receiver slot so that on special teams he's going to come into the ball game and make some hits. But I'm going to know that if Meacham and Morgan go out, I want to sub in Nick Toon. So if guys get tired, I can make those RB subs. And then I have Lance Moore for the slot trail, Kenny Stills is going to be that big play receiver on the left side, and then Marquise Colston is going to be the solo on the right. Our next category here is the tight end. Obviously, Jimmy Graham's probably going to be number one, but let's just take a look at the other tight ends and see what they bring to the table. And we see we have Michael Higgins has 80 catch and traffic. I don't know if any of you guys know that. He has got some pretty good catch and traffic here, but he looks like the only tight end that really has that good catch and traffic rating. Benjamin Watson has a pretty good overall rating, but he and Josh Hill lack that catch and traffic. So really, if Jimmy Graham goes down, I'll probably go Benjamin Watson, then Michael Higgins, then Josh Hill. But anyway, as far as setting this up for special teams, I want to put in the guys with the best impact block. So I'm going to put in Terran Armstead and Charles Brown. They're also, for the Saints, they're actually fairly fast. So you see that that'll be good for our special teams unit. I don't really like to mess with the offensive linemen in the depth chart podcast just because it saves a little bit of time, and these sometimes take a little longer. For our 46 defense, our front four here is going to have to be really, really good. And I like to put more speedy guys here at the defensive ends, kind of outside linebackers, because I'm going to be using the 4.6 speed. So we're just going to put the best combination of power moves and finesse moves and block shed and all that. So let's take a look at these ratings here. And as you see here, Cameron Jordan has 90 power moves and 85 block shed. That's very effective. I'm sure he'll be a great guy for the middle. Let's take a look at some of the other guys here. Will Smith has 82 block shed. Broderick Bunkley doesn't have a great pass rushing move. John Jenkins, look at this guy. He's going to be a Madden gem for us. So I think I already know what I'm going to do with the tackles. Is I'm going to put Binkley at the third slot here. And then okay. So I'm going to take my man Akeem Hicks, Kenyon Coleman, and Broderick Bunkley here. And I'm going to those guys are going to be the backups. And so I'm going to start Cameron Jordan and John Jenkins at defensive tackle. And so that's probably the order that it'll go in right there. And then now let's take a look for the defensive ends. Who do I want to play the defensive ends? I like them to have decent speed, decent strength. So speed in kind of the 70s and strength in the... Cameron Jordan's a perfect defensive lineman, really. So someone like him. So let's see if we can find anybody that resembles those physical characteristics. You see Butler and Harrelson are fairly similar. So is Gillette. You see that they're very athletic. Will Smith is kind of a more beefier guy. So if we're thinking depth chart wise, where do we want to put Will Smith? We would want to put Will Smith on the weak side of the formation so that he can make it a stronger side. So, and then let's take a look at Glenn Foster here. You see that 78 speed, 86 strength. Looks pretty good physical attributes. Let's see what he does in the pass rush game. So you see he's got 73 block shed, 83 power moves. Let's see if it's comparable to any of these guys up here. You see it's pretty comparable. I mean, it doesn't have that tremendous amount, but I think I definitely might put Foster as a backup to the guys here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my backups be Foster and Butler, and then Foster and Butler on both sides. Okay, and then the right of screen defensive end, which is going to be the left of screen, or excuse me, the left end on your depth chart. I'm going to make that Will Smith, and I'm going to make Junior Gillette the left of screen defensive end, so that he's the guy that's pass rushing on that one play that we were talking about, that cover 3 blitz off the edge there. So that's my front four. So it's going to go left end Will Smith, right end Junior Gillette, Cameron Jordan at the defensive tackle number 1 slot, John Jenkins at the defensive tackle number 2 slot. All right, so left outside linebacker, these guys are not going to really matter, so I'm just going to plug in the best person there. So, for example, in a left outside linebacker, the only time you're ever going to see a left outside linebacker is in a 4-3 set, and typically that's going to be on the right side of the screen. So who is my worst linebacker that I can put there? Well, I like to put in my best run-stopping linebackers, because if I go out of the speed package, I want to have a really good run-stopping package. So let's take a look at the best combination of block shed at the linebacker position. You see Curtis Lofton has 73, Hawthorne has 72, Reddick has 85 block shed. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to start Reddick at the right of screen outside linebacker, or excuse me, the right outside linebacker, which will be the left side of the screen. So Reddick's definitely going to be starting here. And then I think I'm going to put Lofton in the middle. I think that was already a conclusion. Let's take a look and let's compare. Let's compare Lofton and Reddick here. So let's take a look. They're pretty much even in speed and athletic wise. Let's take a look at the hardcore ratings here because I know that Reddick is a Madden gym. So we see here Lofton has a little better hit power. Lofton has a little bit better, not as good block shed, but a little better pursuit, better coverage in terms of man, better play recognition. So I think Lofton's definitely going to be the overall clear-cut #1. But following him is going to be Reddick, followed by Vilma. I think that's probably what I'll do here, because you always want to have at least 70 zone coverage from your linebackers. And then what's this guy, Kyle Knox? So yeah, that's probably what we're gonna do here. And Vilma, then Hawthorne. So that's gonna be my linebacking core. And then my right of screen linebacking core is gonna be Reddick. Left of screen, left outside linebacker is gonna be probably going to be Butler, probably going to be Harrelson and Butler. So then remember also, guys, that the second middle linebacker is on your special teams. So we like to make our top 5 hit power guys. So Gillette's going to be 1, Lofton's going to be 1, and Hawthorne's going to be 1. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll put Hawthorne in the middle, Lofton on the right. And we need to make sure that we get Vilma here. So there's our linebacking core. So how our linebackers are going to work is our left outside linebacker is going to be Perales Harrison. Our middle linebacker is going to be Curtis Lofton. And our right outside linebacker is going to be Kevin Reddick. Now on to the secondary. The 3rd and 4 corners are the guys that are going to become the outside linebackers. So I'm going to put my beefier guys here. So I know that I'm definitely going to put Roman Harper as my blitzer off that edge in that cover 3. So I want to definitely put him at one of the slots. And then another guy that I really want to put at one of these positions here is going to be Kenny Vaccaro. And the reason I want to put Kenny Vaccaro in is because I know he would be really good in that kind of versatile style that he is. But I'm going to actually probably end up putting Keenan Lewis is going to be one of my corners. Jabari Greer is going to be one of my corners probably. So I'm going to take probably the best blitzer out of these two and put him in. Let's see here, 55 tackling. Because I want Vaccaro outside on the edge. So we're going to put Malcolm Jenkins in here. So I got to find someone to place him with. So we're going to put, so here's how our corners are going to be set up. We got Malcolm Jenkins, Roman Harper, and then our 5th corner, we always want to put someone in there that has really high press coverage, because if we ever go to a quarters formation, we can have that ability. So we're going to place Patrick Robinson as our number 5 corner, and now we have Greer and Lewis as our secondary players. And then we're going to take our strong safety. We're going to make him Kenny Vaccaro. And then our backup strong safety is going to be Roman Harper for the special teams. And then we're going to put Kenny Vaccaro at the free safety backup for special teams. And then we're going to take Corey White. We're going to make him our, let's make sure this is right. Let's make sure his hit power. So he's got 81 hit power. So definitely going to make Corey Wright our user control player, because we're going to be able to make that 81 hit power, 93 speed really shine. And then the backup free safety, in case he gets hurt, is just going to be the best guy that we can put in there. So let's take a look at zone coverage. And we see here that the best guy for the job is probably going to be Trevin Wade. The reason we're going to put Trevor Wade in there is because he has that 88.6, 63 strength, and he's got that 61 block shed, better block shed and tackling than most of the other guys, and has decent man and zone coverage. So that's going to be our roster here. And then just to kind of close things out, we're going to set up our special teams. So for our kick returner, we obviously are going to be using Darren Sproles. And then I like to just find the faster guys here. So Joseph Morgan, Rod Sweeting, Corey White, and then we'll just leave Lance Morgan because I know he has pretty good agility and acceleration. So let's see here. You see Joseph Morgan's probably the best speed burner, and then Lance Moore is probably going to be the fourth string. And then remember that the second string guy on your special teams is the blocker. So we talked earlier, we're going to place Josh Hill in there at that position. And then punt returner, we just like to do the same basic thing. So that's going to round out our depth chart podcast, guys. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out my post on Medium. Medium is one of my favorite blog sites right now. It's got a lot of good stuff that you can do with it. So be sure to check me out on Medium and Twitter. But thanks for your time today, guys. Hope this video is beneficial. And this is our New Orleans Saints depth chart podcast.